Hi guys, welcome back to another Sims 4 house building video. This is the first one where I've actually done a voiceover in a really long time actually. So today we're just building a winter log cabin. So I just want to start off the video by saying apologies in advance. My computer just wasn't playing ball with this video today. Initially, there was all sorts of problems, like the game wouldn't save, and then the next issue was certain parts of the video that I recorded on OBS. For some reason, they didn't save either. Hence why you pretty much just see me go straight into finishing touches on the outside of the build, like doing the wallpapers, the windows, the doors, etc. All the walls are already pretty much pre-built, which is kind of a shame because it was actually good fun making this build. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that to start with. The challenge with this build really is I'm building it in Mount Komorebi, which comes with the Snowy Escape Pack. And to be honest, it's a really cool plot of land that you can build in because it's got the ski resort right next to it. However, because it's always snow here, it makes it really difficult to actually do any kind of landscaping. The roof textures you can't see, the floor texture you can't see. Everything is just covered in a layer of white snow, which makes it actually a really challenging build to do. Which is why I like the build that I'm doing, which is like a cozy winter log cabin. It's almost a perfect build that you would do for this kind of building really. But yeah, just in terms of the build itself, at the moment, I'm just sort of adding these windows in. I went for a very minimalist design, which is a bit weird because it looks quite complicated, the structure. But you'll see on the inside it's very minimal. I also wanted this building to be perfect for gameplay. So a lot of the builds that I do are kind of more geared towards just decorative, or you could play in them, but you probably experience quite a lot of lag just because there's so many objects. It's more just a proving to see what I can build in the game. This one definitely was more geared towards being a good lot to play in, which is also why I wanted to do it on a 50 by 50, because a lot of people prefer to play a game, to play their Sims on a 50 by 50. I think there's more of them in all the worlds anyway. Certainly in the first worlds anyway, before 64 by 64 lots were a thing. For me, I find it quite challenging because I like building in a 64 by 64 lot because it gives me all the space I need, especially for landscaping. But it doesn't really matter too much for this build, it kind of works quite well. The landscaping is very basic in this build, and that's not because I didn't want to do good landscaping, it's because there's not a lot you can do with the Snowy Escape Pack when it comes to landscaping, because most of it will just be covered in a white layer anyway, so you won't see it. So you could put different flowers, you could put different floor textures, but you won't see any of them. What would be quite interesting is if you download this lot from the gallery, which you can for free. If you place this building in one of the other worlds, which is not snowy, you might find that it's actually there's certain textures that just aren't quite right. For example, the floor texture outside. Some of the roof textures, I did go around covering each roof texture to replace the existing roof tiles, but there may be situations where because it's covered in a white layer of snow at the moment, I just missed it because I couldn't see it. So yeah, if you do download this lot though, as well, I've kind of done it so there's loads of opportunities for you to grow as a family into this build. So when you download it as well, here's another reason why my computer just wasn't playing ball. I'd done a very, I wouldn't say impressive interior, but I'd done an interior for this build as if to kind of almost like a show interior, just to showcase what you could use each space for, with kind of the expectation that anyone downloading it will go in and change all those items anyway. But my game crashed just as I finished doing that. So unfortunately, when you download the build, there pretty much won't be any furniture anyway. But as you can see at the moment, talking of furniture, I've just kind of mainly to make the video more interesting as well, people like to see builds get furnished. I know I do certainly. I'm not really one myself that would go and download someone else's build and play my game in it, just because I build my own stuff. But I do quite like the idea of downloading a lot and then kind of renovating it to how I would live. So you get that opportunity with this build really. When you download it, there pretty much won't be any furniture. But if you do watch this video, you could kind of use that as an idea of where I kind of visioned what certain areas of the build would be used for. So for example, you've got like this massive living area as soon as you walk through the entranceway. It's also double heighted as well. So this house actually has 3 floors. So you've got the basement, level 1, or the ground floor, and then level 2, or the first floor, depending on whereabouts you are in the world and what you refer to each floor as. But essentially the very top floor, the first floor, the second floor, whatever you want to call it, really is only accessible by ladders for the most part. It's not all interconnected either. What I mean by that is one ladder will take you to one section of that floor, another ladder will take you to a different section, and to get from both of those sections you'd have to go down a ladder, up a ladder. And basically, like, it's not an ideal situation, but because of the way roofing works in The Sims, you can't really build in the roof itself. You can only, like, it's hard to explain, but you can't build like loft shapes within the roof. So you have to build like full-on rooms. And also, like, because I wanted this to be for gameplay, I made those top floor areas accessible. But to be honest, like, for me, if I was playing the game, certainly if I was using the pack for Snowy Escape or the Jungle Adventure pack, I quite like playing as well. I'd probably use those areas to showcase anything that I collected, or just add certain areas. So like, as your Sims family grows, you might want to add certain objects up there. You can even make them more bedrooms. So as standard, this house is currently 3 bedrooms, but there's certainly plenty of space to make it upwards of probably 7 to 8 bedrooms if you use the downstairs area and the upper floors as well. So we're also going into the kitchen here. The kitchen I'm not a massive fan of in this build. It's not that it's not a nice kitchen, but it's compromised by the shape of the house in a negative way, and I didn't really know how to make the kitchen any better. So, but this is kind of what I come up with, very simple, very minimalist. And you'll see kind of lots of like Japanese themes in this house. It's not a Japanese house by design. It's supposed to be like a log cabin, but it definitely draws on some inspiration from the environment that surrounds it, but also being in Mount Komorebi, which is supposed to be, I believe it's supposed to be like Japan, or at least the pack is themed around skiing. And there seems to be like a lot of Japanese architecture in the pack, so you could argue that this is kind of like a Japanese themed house. For me, it's more of like a contemporary log cabin. It's certainly not one of the best builds I've done. In fact, if this is the first video you're seeing of mine, I'd recommend going into my channel. There's a lot more detailed builds. But this build was a lot of fun, just to kind of build a log cabin really. But yeah, as you can see, like, we're just doing the master bedroom. The master bedroom has your kind of standard stuff that you'd get in a mansion, which is like your walk-in wardrobe and your ensuite bathroom. But again, like, it's very basic furnishing, so it's a very minimalist design. So when you download it, you've pretty much got a blank canvas just to kind of create what you want. Which for me would be perfect as someone if I was playing the game, because I know from my experience, when I do gameplay, often most of the houses that I build, I tend to go for the like smaller houses or the less detailed houses, just because I don't know quite what direction I'm going to take with each sim that I'm playing with. Whereas this house, it doesn't restrict you in any way, so you can take your sim wherever you want really. So you can see we're just going into like the this is just like a study area, pretty basic study. That word is probably going to come up a lot, basic and minimal. They're kind of like nice ways of saying unfinished, but the house is finished. Like, everything about the house is finished. And when you download it as well, if you do want to do that, the initial cost is about 140,000 simoleons, which is a lot, but for the house of this spec, actually you're getting a massive building for that money. And especially if you're coming from, like, if this is your I doubt this would be your first house. This is probably a house that you've worked and saved up for, or you've used cheats to get it, however you've got it. But you probably have a bit of furniture already from previous houses that you want to kind of use this house to make good of that furniture that you already have. But yeah, you can just see like the basic layout there really. Then that's the basement. So downstairs in the basement, it's actually a cool design. It's like a split level design. So you still got windows and doors in the basement, but it's called a basement in my opinion because the floor that you enter the house on is the floor above the basement. As you can see there as well, I was kind of messing around with the different bars in the game, but I wasn't really a fan of the circular bar. It just didn't really have that rustic look that you kind of want in a log cabin. So yeah, just use this bar as like an interesting space. It's it's just got like a dance floor and a couple of like, it's basically where you could come and do like band practice or anything like that really. It's a massive space though. What I was thinking is if you needed the bedrooms, you could easily convert that space into like 3 more bedrooms. And then there's another space to the right here. This is again, because it's the Mount Komorebi, thought why not have like I think it's like a bath, they call it, an onsen bath. I might have horribly got that wrong, but whatever, that's what I'm going with. And then you've also got a laundry room and also a place where you can make nectar. And I love that they brought the nectar making back into the game because I used to love their Sims 3 World Adventures, I think it was, World of Adventure. I don't know, it's the one where you could go to like Egypt, France and China. And I used to love making nectar. I used to love making nectaries, like places that make nectar. Where it's like a vineyard. That'd be a pretty cool build actually. I might do a vineyard. It'd be difficult, but I think it'd be really cool. And because you've got nectar making back in the game now, like it makes sense to do it. That's one thing I don't like doing, is making builds that serve near enough no purpose really. So yeah, just adding a couple walls just to separate the rooms because that's a really big square room otherwise. I think another use you could use that room for is definitely like a home cinema. If you're going for that kind of like luxury mega mansion kind of design, which this house potentially could be. For me, it's more like a humble mansion, if that's a thing. Not really, like humble mansions shouldn't really exist. Like there's nothing humble about having a mansion, especially one of those ones with like pillars out the front that kind of gated communities with pillars everywhere. They're not really humble, are they? But I don't know. Make of it what you will. It's basically like a great ski lodge at the end of the day. You can come here, ski into the lodge straight from the outside, and you go. And then here, this is kind of like just near the study. I put like a vault. I haven't done a tour like this before on video, but basically I'm going to do like a full walkthrough now of the build. I thought I could do screenshots, but I know for me, like especially after watching quite a lot of YouTubers over the last few months, I quite enjoy when they do like these walkthrough tours. I'm really horrible with using keyboard controls to navigate around the house, so I do apologise in advance, but there might be some like jumps here and there. But in general, like I think the tour does its job. So yeah, we come into the room, and the first thing on your left is going to be where you take your skis off. Again, really basic furnishing, because I want people to download this and do it their way. Then you got just a standard toilet on the right, really handy just to have there. I quite like it, just nice and easy. Then you got the living room with the, we'll go up to the double height ceiling windows, which is amazing. I left that bit of ceiling white up there, just so that it kind of had like a contrast between the wood ceiling everywhere to like a nice white ceiling. And then we go past these ladders either side. Yeah, those ladders just take you into like the loft areas. There's nothing up there, but you can put whatever you like up there. Then this is a nice big master bedroom. I would say look out the windows at them amazing views. But another issue when you build in a snowy area is the windows seem to fog up. And yeah, and then this is just a dressing room. Again, simple dressing room, but a nice thing to have. Now, for some reason, the door deleted in this bedroom to the bathroom. When you download the house, that door will be there. Not sure how it got deleted, but it deleted itself, and I didn't realise until I started recording the walkthrough, so I thought let me just highlight that in the walkthrough. Quite funny. And then you've got like spaces all over, so you could put like a bookshelf in that corner, or any kind of shelving you want really. You could use it for anything. That sculpture on the right, that wood carving, one of the most expensive objects in the game. Not sure why. Then you got probably my favourite part of the build is that almost like hallway with the glass floor, just so you can see the greenery underneath. And then just going into the office. The interesting thing about the greenery underneath is it's the only place in the build really, which is technically outside, where you will see the green within a bush or a tree. and that's because it's covered by a ceiling, so the snow effectively can't land on it, hence why it's still green. So yeah, that was another bedroom. That bedroom also had a staircase going upstairs, so you could make that a pretty cool playroom, or pretty cool anything really. And then these bedrooms just share this bathroom at the end. So it's quite a nice layout actually, quite a nice layout, pretty decent layout actually. Nice big hallways as well. I do like big wide hallways in the house. And then now we are just going across. So yeah, back now at the living room, just skipped past from the bedrooms in the guest area of the house just to show you the last part of the interior really. So you come through here, you've almost got like a breakfast dining room. One thing I like about the house is you don't ever really see the kitchen. It's quite hidden away, which is unique. I actually quite like that. Kind of makes you feel like it's a much, I don't know what the word is, but it's not seeing the kitchen has like a weird benefit in my opinion to the aesthetics of the house. Maybe it's just because the kitchen in this house is so ugly, I'm just trying to cover it. It could be that actually. That's probably more than what it is actually. Because if it was a nice looking kitchen, then why would you want to hide it? But yeah, I'm not really a fan of the kitchen counters either without the cupboard doors. But it kind of fitted the theme of the house, I thought I'd just go with it anyway. And then yeah, just swinging back round to the living room where you have the main staircase. Well, pretty much the only staircase to go down into the basement. So yeah, as we go down, you've got on your right, on your left now, you've got a gym. You've got another exit to the outside. You've got an entrance to the garage. There's some stables in this house as well, actually. I thought that was a pretty cool thing to do, just based on the fact that you can do stables in the game now. And then we go in, we're going to zoom into the nectar making space, as it's called. Whatever you want to call that. Interesting space, anyway. Then back round again. Almost went the wrong way there, back up the stairs. That's not what we want to do. So you got the bar here. You've got like, yeah, just a really big space really. I keep saying like the same things in this build, but it just ends up being like a massive cabin really. I think this would be like, if I was quite new to The Sims and I, like, especially when I was younger, like I used to just enjoy furnishing builds rather than building builds. This to me would be like the perfect kind of build to go in and furnish and kind of change the layout slightly just to fit my needs really. And I think like, although it's a really complicated building to build, the actual interior is very adjustable. Like there's plenty of space to make those adjustments. And in fact, you could even fill in some of these basement rooms if you didn't want to use them at all. And that would still be realistic because it's almost like a split level house anyway. So if you did fill in them rooms, it wouldn't be like, oh, you've just got empty rooms in the house. You could just easily hide them. And then yeah, just going into this stable, so it's kind of like the last part of the build. And then nice reflection in the pool there of the tree. They look like Christmas trees. Pretty sure that's what they are. And then this is me just zooming out really. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. So thanks for watching guys, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.